The local evening news is brought to you by Nagico, local agents Bryson's Insurance.
Good evening, welcome to ABS Evening News. We're coming to you a little later than usual tonight following our live coverage of the opening ceremony of the 78th meeting of the OECS Authority. I'm Jimmy J. Roche. Thank you so much for staying with us. We begin here because Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Gaston Brown, has formally assumed the chairmanship of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States Authority. Well, the opening ceremony of the 78th OECS Authority meeting just wrapped up at the Royal Antigua Resort. Prime Minister Brown succeeds St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Godwin Friday, who served as chairman over the past year. In his address, the Prime Minister used the 45th anniversary of the OECS to call for deeper regional cooperation and bolder action by member states. He pointed to institutions such as the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, the Regional Pharmaceutical Procurement System, and the Civil Aviation Authority as proof that OECS countries can achieve more together than they can alone. The Prime Minister says today's leaders must now build new, lasting institutions for the benefit of OECS citizens. He's also called for the OECS Commission to become leaner, faster, and more effective, and asked Director General Dr. Didacus Jew to develop a reform plan. Prime Minister Brown also addressed U.S. travel and immigration-related measures, saying Antigua and Barbuda is prepared to cooperate, but will not accept criminal elements or large numbers of third-country nationals. He also urged member states to strengthen links with Latin America, including Panama, to help reduce food import costs and build stronger supply chains. The incoming OECS chairman renewed his call for the creation of OECS Air, saying reliable air transport is essential to regional integration. OECS leaders are expected to meet tomorrow for substantive discussions on the major issues facing the sub-region. In the meantime, the government says it is absorbing millions of dollars to keep fuel prices stable at the pumps. Prime Minister Gaston Brown says the government now owes West Indies Oil Company more than $6 million as part of its efforts to protect consumers from rising global energy costs. He made the comments on Saturday's Brown and Brown show while discussing the impact of instability around the Strait of Hormuz. A volatile global oil market is again being felt far beyond the Middle East. For Antigua and Barbuda, Prime Minister Gaston Brown says the pressure is being felt not only at the pumps, but also on government's finances. He says government has been subsidizing petroleum products for several months to keep fuel prices stable.
So, similarly, the point I was making now is that, similarly, we have actually maintained the costs at the pump. But we do so by paying West Indies Oil Company to keep the price at $14.25, $14.50 to provide price stability. Right now, we owe West Indies Oil Company over $6 million.
Prime Minister Brown says the measure has helped to contain the price of diesel and gasoline for consumers, but he also acknowledges it is hurting the government financially. The Prime Minister says the government normally collects millions of dollars a month from fuel, but is instead carrying a debt to WEOC as it tries to shield motorists and businesses from the full impacts of global price movements. He says continued uncertainty at the Strait of Hormuz shows why small import-dependent states remain highly exposed to external economic shocks.
And these are the vulnerabilities that we speak about from time to time. There's some people who believe that by fighting for this MVI, this multidimensional vulnerability index, they believe that we're trying to create a pathway to get free money. And no, that's not the case. I mean, from time to time, we have to contend with these economic shocks. We're extremely vulnerable. We have a small population. We have limited resources.
The Prime Minister says he's hoping oil prices will normalize in the coming weeks and months, which would ease the pressure on government's fuel subsidy program. But for now, he says the administration is continuing to absorb the cost to keep prices at the pump stable. James J. Roche, ABS News. In other news, a 19-year-old Pears Secondary School student is dead, and police, along with her family, are now searching for answers. The body of fashion model Zoe Tomlinson was recovered from the waters at Devil's Bridge earlier today. Police say preliminary reports indicate a young woman entered the sea at Devil's Bridge sometime late Saturday night. Following the reports, officers along with a team from the Antigua and Barbuda Defense Force Coast Guard responded and carried out an extensive search operation on land and at sea. Police say the search was temporarily suspended overnight because of challenging conditions and other operational factors. The operation resumed early this morning, and the Coast Guard later recovered Tomlinson's body from the water and transported it ashore. The police administration has extended condolences to Tomlinson's family and friends during this difficult time. Police are also asking that the family's privacy be respected as investigations continue. In the meantime, Wadada Initiative for Self-Care and Healing, or WISH, says it's heartbroken by 19-year-old Zoe Tomlinson's death. WISH founder Chanel Imhoff describes the Parham resident as somebody's daughter, somebody's friend, and somebody's neighbor, while extending condolences to her family, friends, and loved ones. The organization is also urging the public to show care and compassion in how the tragedy is discussed, especially on social media. Imhoff says speculation, the sharing of graphic content, and insensitive commentary can deepen the pain of grieving families and affect others in the community who may also be struggling in silence. She is appealing to anyone experiencing emotional distress or personal pain to reach out for help and support. Imhoff says no one should have to face difficult circumstances alone. In the meantime, Antigua and Barbuda and the Republic of Honduras have formally established diplomatic relations. The two countries signed a joint communique earlier today. The signing took place in Panama City on the margins of meetings of the Association of Caribbean States and the Organization of American States. The agreement was signed by Sir Ronald Saunders, Antigua and Barbuda's ambassador to the OAS, and Ambassador Pamela Handel, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs of Honduras. Following the ceremony, both representatives welcomed the formal establishment of relations as an important step in strengthening ties between the two countries. They say it creates a framework for closer collaboration on matters of mutual interest. Representatives also noted that Antigua and Barbuda and Honduras share common concerns as part of the wider Latin American and Caribbean community. These include the effects of climate change, vulnerability to external economic shocks, and the need for greater access to affordable development financing. Ambassador Saunders and Vice Minister Handel says the new relationship should also support collaboration in regional and international forums. They also pointed to possible exchanges in trade, investment, tourism, education, culture, and technical cooperation. In the meantime, Antigua and Barbuda has reaffirmed its support for the government and people of British Virgin Islands in their pursuit of political self-determination. Antigua and Barbuda has long worked through a United Nations body to help advance the case for political independence for several countries, including BVI. The body is a special committee on the situation with regard to the implementation of the Declaration on the Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and Peoples. The committee recently held a Caribbean regional seminar in Nicaragua. There, BVI Special Envoy Benito Wheatley provided an update on upcoming constitutional negotiations with the United Kingdom. Antigua and Barbuda was represented by second officer in the country's permanent mission in New York, Dr. Jerry Ann Jeremy, that is. Dr. Jeremy says Antigua and Barbuda's support for BVI is rooted in shared history, culture, and family ties. She also notes Antigua and Barbuda's own experience as a former colony and the progress made since independence. Dr. Jeremy also congratulated the BVI government for what has been described as the most comprehensive legislative reform program in the territory's history. In other news, Reverend Leslie Scotland of the Diocese of Northeastern Caribbean and Aruba has been ordained to the Sacred Order of Priests. He previously served as a deacon. The consecration and ordination service marking the significant milestone was held Friday at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. Our Teresa Goodwin has the details.
Leslie, do you believe that God has called you to the office and work of a priest in His church?
I am willing and ready to do so, and I will conform doctrine, discipline, and worship of the church in the province of the West Indies.
The Right Reverend Ernest Fleming led the presentation of the newly ordained priest, followed by Reverend Scotland's response as he accepted the responsibilities of his new ministry. During the sermon, Reverend Father Christopher Roberts encouraged the newly ordained priest to remain steadfast in his faith and maintain a positive spirit throughout the different circumstances and seasons of life and ministry. He reminded Reverend Scotland that the priesthood requires perseverance, commitment, and a deep trust in God, even during times of challenge and uncertainty.
Therefore, my brother, you have to become versed in the words of the Lord that he will give to you. Forming the habits of morning and evening prayer offices, along with regular masses, will keep you in the Word. The Word will inform your life.
The service concluded with prayers and blessing for Reverend Scotland as he begins his ministry as a priest in the Anglican Church. Teresa Goodwin, ABS News.
In other news, Social Transformation Minister Rawdon Turner's message to fathers this Father's Day is simple. Be present, he says. He's also encouraging would-be parents to think carefully about family planning and the responsibility that comes with raising a child.
Make sure you're able to provide for your family, you're able to provide for one another before you take that step into having a child. It's a big responsibility, but when you decide that you're ready to have a child, be present in that child's life as much as possible, because it's going to make a big difference in how that young person develops in society and become a citizen of Antigua and Barbuda.
And ABS News says Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Of course, it's now time to speak to another father. We have Owen Page with us here to tell us what's the weather like on this Father's Day.
Hello to you, Jimmy, and all of you joining us here at ABS Television. Jimmy, tropical wave moved through, dry conditions tonight. However, good chances for some brief passing showers tomorrow and the next couple of days. We have this and more details in the full package when we return.
The weather report is brought to you by Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection.
When the skies are clear and the winds are calm, we often forget how unpredictable Mother Nature can be. But when a hurricane strikes, it's the strength of your home that matters most. Whether you are preparing for your first storm or looking to upgrade your current protection, Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection has got you covered. Our expert team handles everything from custom design to professional installation, ensuring your home is as strong as it is beautiful. Call today for a free consultation. Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection, built strong to weather any storm.
And welcome back. A tropical wave now located west of the island chain would have produced some showers across the islands over the last 24 hours. The tropical wave moved further towards the west in the vicinity now of the British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, and some drying out of the atmosphere behind the wave would have reduced the chances for showers across Antigua and Barbuda today. However, we can see in the Atlantic Ocean lots of low-level cloud patches moving through, and with some pockets of moisture will support some brief cloudy periods and showers over the next couple of days. Certainly across Antigua and Barbuda and the rest of the islands, we can still see some patches of low-level clouds around in the vicinity of the islands, and we expect this to produce some showers over the next couple of days. The Atlantic Ocean is rather quiet. There's a little bit of convection identifying the intertropical convergence zone, a few tropical waves to the east of the area, but not showing any signs of development over the next couple of days. So tonight, expect a 30% chance of showers across Antigua and Barbuda. The winds out of the east at 12 to 21 miles per hour. Low temperature around 25 Celsius or 77 degrees Fahrenheit. For tomorrow, Monday, the chances for showers will climb to around 60%, but these are brief passing showers. Look for the high to climb to around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind still staying out of the east between 12 and 21 miles per hour. Sunrise 5:34, sunset at 6:44. In terms of the extended weather forecast, you will notice very much consistency in terms of the outlook. Around 60% chance of some brief passing showers developing, these on and off showers, because the winds are bringing in some low-level cloud patches and some pockets of moisture, and creating some brief passing showers. The daytime highs will be in the low 90s, and so please keep this in mind to stay hydrated. Lots of UV exposure for this week will feature, and as a result, we do have to protect ourselves. And because it's also very hot, we have to make sure we stay hydrated and limit ourselves to the direct sunlight because of some activities. Winds over open water out of the east from 14 to 24 miles per hour, and your wave heights 5 to 7 feet. There's a small craft caution in place for small craft operators. So, Jamie, as I cross back over to you, it is with the news that some on and off showers will feature between now and Thursday, but not significant enough to break the drought and the hot conditions we've been experiencing. It's back to you.
Yes, we had some pretty good showers on Thursday. It wasn't necessarily strong, but was steady, consistent.
Yes, a tropical wave moves through, but that wave now is in the vicinity of Puerto Rico, and of course, dry conditions behind the tropical wave. Let's hope the next tropical wave that comes through in another couple of days will bring similar or even more weather conditions, Jamie.
Excellent. Of course, our citizens will be happy for that. All right, thanks for that. Now, moving on, we are going to shift here.